So hi everyone, it's Paul Cohen here. Friday the 27th of March, countdown, 2 days. Actually, we're about 24 hours into our shutdown. Coming to you with these Zoom in Touch interviews that I'm having with people around the world, people that I know that I feel can contribute to us in terms of the knowledges and the skills that they know of and acquired over the years. And I've been in the business a really long time, and I know lots of people, and I'm calling on them and saying, hey, look, you know, this is extraordinary times in the world, and we need to get out there and share some of the stuff that we know that can support people. And I think it's an amazing opportunity to share for us. And I've got one of my dear old friends that I haven't seen for, this is the first contact we've had for a long time, and Kate Burford, who is a Shiatsu practitioner extraordinaire, and also she does zero balancing body work. We met, I don't know, 30 years ago, I don't know, when we were doing our zero balancing bodywork training together. So anyway, hi, this is Kate Burford. Just introduce yourself. How would you like the world to know you?
Hi, yeah, I'm Kate Burford, and yeah, I'm a Shiatsu practitioner. I live in Cornwall in the UK, far west of Cornwall, and I work in private practice here, and from another centre where a friend runs a little Buddhist sort of retreat centre. I work there 1 day a week, beautiful barn. And I teach Shiatsu within the Shiatsu sort of community here in England. I teach a little bit abroad as well. And I also do sort of community work, particularly with a colleague of mine, Leaf, who's a wonderful yoga teacher. We do lots of women's work. At the moment, we're doing quite a few menopause groups. So
oh, great.
Supporting women.
Awesome.
To empower themselves and find ways to look after themselves that they might not come across, but are very simple to do and are really empowering and effective.
Fantastic. And what forum are you using for that, in terms of you doing some Zoom classes or?
Well, we have, I mean, we've just been doing those in person, but we've got our next one's booked in July. I was looking at the diary and thinking, well, if we're not back in circulation, then we'll do it on Zoom.
Yeah, great. What's going on, eh? What do you think the main, because there's a lot, I mean, lots going on. I shouldn't really ask you that because I don't think any of us really know. But in terms of struggles that people may be having and personal things, people being locked up, you got any kind of words of wisdoms of how we can be? What, if you could give someone a little golden nugget of some description? Put you on the spot there, eh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think our training, our 30 years training of what we've learned through Oriental medicine really serves us to be in a position to, we've got the tools. And whether that's learning how to calm down the nervous system by a 5-minute yoga pose, just 5 minutes, legs up the wall, just to calm the nervous system, calm the adrenals, whether it's all the tools we've got. So we've got tools about breathing, tools about diet, and those are the sort of things I share: exercise, diet, rest, breathing. And with Shiatsu, there's and acupuncture, there's all those points you can do that are indicated for calming people down and grounding.
Yeah. And you're doing some online trainings as well, are you?
Yeah, I'm just about to start on Monday, and I'm going to do it every Monday in just an hour maximum Do-in class.
Yes.
So Do-in basically is self-Shiatsu.
Yes.
So we'll do tapping of the points. So we'll tapping the points, tapping the meridians to stimulate the chi flow through the meridians.
Yeah.
We'll do a little bit of Qigong.
Yeah.
And we'll do some points as well. So whether we're doing a point in the hand to relieve anxiety, draw that anxiety away from the chest.
Yeah.
Or whether we're working on the lungs, and
so
I'll be
using.
I'll probably, that when we think in Chinese medicine of immunity, we think about the 3 burners. So I'll be doing kidney Qigong for the kidneys, some points for the kidneys.
Fantastic.
I'll be doing stuff for the spleen, and stuff for lungs. And that's
Yes.
probably how I'll base it. And we'll do, Qigong tapping and points.
Fantastic.
And some stretches, meridian stretches as well.
Okay, good. So this is looking at stimulating the meridian systems related to acupuncture, but done through acupressure. And this is that big well of holistic Chinese medicine that has got many different facets to it. So for me, I'm an acupuncturist, I'll be needling those acupuncture points. And for you being a shiatsu person, you're looking at how you can do that by doing pressure on the acupuncture points to relieve or really, I suppose, make our own internal system stronger in terms of our internal organs and workings.
Yeah, and balancing our systems. And I think shiatsu, what's wonderful about shiatsu, and it's Japanese as well as Chinese, it's the theory of Chinese medicine because of the years of war and trade between Japan and China.
Yes.
It crossed over, so it's a traditional Japanese therapy, which is essentially sort of barefoot doctor style. So it was learnt in the home and worked in the home. So there are techniques, whether it's rubbing a lung point or rubbing to warm up from the sides of your arms, all those techniques that were taught in the home, Japanese folk remedies. So shiatsu, you don't need a needle, you don't need that skill to learn how to needle. You can just press the point or tap the meridian or stretch the meridian.
Yes.
And
so stimulating it in some way. And now because we're confined to home, and some of us are going to be on our own, some of us are going to be just with your partner or with a few family members. So this is something you can do yourself, and also something that my partner could do on me. Is that the way that you're kind of looking at it?
I mean, I'm going to teach it, doing it on ourselves.
Yes.
But we can do it in pairs as well. Yeah.
I'm looking at doing some Zoom pairs stuff, getting people.
Okay.
I'm looking at teaching my bone yoga bodywork online, and looking how we can get people. I think it'd be fascinating. I think it can be done for sure.
Absolutely. There's a movement in the shiatsu community here in the UK. Cliff Andrews and Dinah John at New Energy Work, they are teaching shiatsu online, and they're sort of supporting the worldwide shiatsu community by teaching us online how to move our shiatsu classes from the dojo onto online. And you've just given me an idea. I can get my daughter or my partner in the room, and we can do pairs as well.
Yeah,
so
that's my idea, and I'm kind of maybe piecemealing it too. So I might do some for lower back, I might do some for upper back, I might do some for breathing. And again, I've got a number of different tools that I can call upon too in terms of yoga and movement and engagement. And so there's lots of explorations we can do around that to really support people. And maybe we can all get together and do something together, and we'll have I'll invite you to my how we can support lower back. The thing is, I don't know how many people go to therapies worldwide, but you go to your doctor for your bad back, you go to your chiropractor, osteopathic acupuncturist, your shiatsu practitioner, and the list goes on. We don't have that facility for us now. So this time, and however long it goes for, it's really crucial for us, I feel, for me, is to share that knowledge. This is not mine. It doesn't do me any good keeping it. And I'm doing it, I'm working on a reciprocity-based gift economy, which I've been working on for a while, which basically looks at, I'm gifting this to you. And if you have some resources that you can gift back to me, that's beautiful. And if you haven't, that's also beautiful too. It doesn't matter. It's just, there's no point you and me keeping this information now. We need this. There's potentially 8 billion people in the world that need our support. I say it kind of like that. I don't really mean need, but they do. It's going to get harder and harder.
Yeah. And the thing I'm so blessed. I feel so blessed to have these tools, and they're so simple, but they're so empowering and so powerful. And for people to have something so simple that's easy to teach, and it's not complicated, it's not difficult, and it's effective, it works. And just by teaching someone to breathe, it's slower to calm the nervous system down, or just
Yeah.
to lie on their back and put their legs up the wall, as I said earlier, just to rest the adrenals and support them. It's so simple. It doesn't have to be this complicated thing, and that's a gift. It's such a gift to give something that this works, and
Yes.
you know, all you have to do is just be here, and you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you know, I remember teaching a workshop in the UK, and I asked a question like, it was something along the lines of the whole workshop is who's negative to each other and who puts themselves down, and everybody in the class put their hands up, that they have some kind of negative feeling about themselves. And it could have been, you know, I'm not good enough, or I don't have long enough hair, or I'm fat, or I'm too thin, and I'm all this kind of stuff. These kind of stuff is meaningless now, isn't it? It doesn't matter how many spots you've got and how big you are, how small you are. And we keep saying that, but it's like, this is such an amazing opportunity for us to kind of start really walking the talk that we've been teaching and walking, and kind of sharing that with people. Makes sense, right?
Absolutely. And we have to take our power. We have to be empowered, because these times are changing, and we need that resilience, and we need that sense of our own body sovereignty in a world that, you know, and it's the only thing we can control, isn't it? As our controls, you know, we're not in control of this situation, but if we can have little things that we can control, that anxiety drops. And I think,
and important to call on people like you that have got this experience that you can share. It's not like you've been doing this body work for a few weeks. You have a really long, deep history that you've been practicing as well, so you understand the embodiment of that. And so with that, Kate, is there anything that you could offer whoever might tune into this at some stage, knowing the kind of situation we're in, maybe a 5 or 10 minute something, in relationship, if I may be a bit specific, in terms of lung and the Qi energy, because of that whole concept around loss and grief and confinement, letting go and taking in that kind of energy in the Shiatsu world. So people could watch this and they could start doing something themselves. Give us a little demo, can you?
Do you want some Qigong, or do you want some tapping? Tapping. I'll have to move, and let's hope my light stays.
Yeah, no, that's right. This is live stuff. That's very light behind there, but let's we can.
What do I do with my light? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can do. If you turn the light to your right a bit more, pointing away that way. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Can you still see me?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I can see you.
Yeah.
And I'll do that with you. Do I need to stand up?
Yeah, stand up. Yeah.
Okay. This is really cool. I'm calling on so many friends, and we're going through these things. And so I do my own practice. I've been teaching these online classes, going Zoom next week. And then I get an opportunity to do some work with my friends around the world. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I don't feel I'm set up for exercise, but we can do some tapping.
Yeah.
So the long meridian starts up here under the ribs, and we can start just by tapping it. We take a loose wrist, nice loose wrist, loose fist, and just tap the meridian. So we can start on the lung, just allowing our breath to deepen. And then we can take that tap down the meridian. So we're going down the upper edge of the bicep, the upper edge of the forearm, into the elbow, a little tap in the elbow. We've got lung. 3, down, and 5, all the way down to the thumb, and tapping along the thumb. And then we can turn the hand up and come up large intestine. And while we're at large intestine, we've got the great eliminator point in the large intestine 4, Hey Gu, in the webbing of the big finger in the big finger, the index finger and the thumb. And we can just tap that like with a knife edge with our little finger. And then up the large intestine meridian, which is along the bone. That's right, across the shoulder. And then we can just do a little bit of breathing in. And on the out breath,
We're just gone on mute you're going to have to say that again. Just keep talking and I'll let you know when you're back. For some reason the sound's gone.
When we're tapping and
That's
making a noise, so when we're tapping on our lungs and making that noise, the vibration and the sound helps move any mucus, which is great at the moment because we want to clear our lungs from any damp, congestion, any mucus hanging around. So it can really move all that stuckness in the lungs. And then we come over to the other side. And then we do the same on the other side because the meridians are all bilateral. So tapping into lung 1 here, sort of opening up so we get a little bit of a stretch under the clavicle. And then down the meridian, nice loose fists, tap, 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 tap. And sometimes we can check after we've done 1 meridian, we can feel what it's like before we do the second arm. That arm might feel longer, or we might just feel more alive. And we can just tune into how our energy is feeling. If it's feeling more alive, still a little bit dead and needs a bit of stimulation. And then we'll do large intestine 4. This time we can do large intestine 4 with our thumbs. So just take 1 thumb. That's it, yeah. And then if it feels like it's tight, we can massage. Keeping our shoulders relaxed. If it feels empty, we can just hold and just bring the energy to it. If it feels like there's nothing pushing us away, if it feels empty. So that's a really simple way just to stimulate and open the lungs and working those meridians, which are our borders and boundaries. And we can go into stretches. Do you want to do a stretch?
Do you want to do 1 more tap in as well? And so we'll just listen to you do the tap in. Show us.
So we breathe in. We come to the lower lungs. We can either do the back lungs. And that sound and vibration is really good for.
Cool. Awesome.
So you should feel a bit more energized, ready for some Qigong or for some stretching.
Can you share some meridian stretching?
Yeah. So there's 2 really good lung meridian stretches. One is called Welcome Sun. So the Chinese clock time for lung and large intestine meridians is lung is 3 till 5 in the morning, and then large intestine 5 to 7. So it's Welcome Sun, it's the morning time. We connect our thumb and our index finger, which is our 2 meridians, the lung ending in the thumb, large intestine beginning in the little finger. And we breathe in and step forward, hold the breath in the lungs, breathe out, come back. Breathe in, open the lungs, and come back. So we can do that as slow, as fast as we want. Welcome the sun, doing it in the morning, facing the sun is lovely with our feet on the ground. So it's really filling up the lungs and the lung qi, taking in the fresh air with the in-breath, inspiration, and letting go of the waste on the exhale. And if you wanted to really waken up, we can go a bit quicker. So hopefully we're getting a nice open feeling all around the large intestine and the shoulders and lung here. And we should feel enlivened as well, open, and that sense of connection with the exterior and the interior that's very crucial to that metal element.
Yeah, beautiful. Anything else?
The other one, I don't know if you can see me, is a Nakaho stretch.
Yes.
So I'm not really set up for exercise. We hook our thumbs behind our back.
Yeah.
Fingers pointing down to the ground. And just open, again, if we drop our index finger down to the ground, our thumbs are connected. We can feel the lungs opening as we drop our fingers down to the ground. And if we're happy with bending forward, we can take a breath in. And then on the out breath, bend our knees and take our fingers up to the index fingers up to the sky. And so you're opening the shoulders. That's great, Paul. Good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very nice. Watch your head on the bench.
I know. For dump. That's beautiful. I can see your Qigong training coming out through those as well, and there's a little bit of a blending probably of all your skills too.
Right.
Because in the yoga world, a lot of the out breath is done through the nose, and more in Qigong, I tend to be more exhale through my mouth, just the training that I've had with, particularly Tim Franklin.
Right.
Do you know Tim?
The name rings a bell, but I don't know him.
Classics Qigong. He also does chair bouncing body work as well.
Right.
He's on one of the interviews that I've just done. He did. He went through lifting the sky and carrying the moon with us.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is really cool. So there's lots of variations, and I love that idea of incorporating the meridians and giving some people a little point of focus, that it's not just lifting your arms up, it's lifting your arms up in relationship to this meridian pathway, which is just below the skin, which has a connection to our functions, our organs, our emotions. And I think that's just feels really complete doing that in some ways.
Yeah, and I think for me with the Do-In session, if I start with tapping, it's quite physical, and we can release some tension by doing that, and then stretching can sort of refine where the meridian is, and then we can come into the Qigong, and we've got the more we can start to subtlety in the of it, because we've sort of opened up the Qi by working the channel in that slightly more physical way that's more comfortable to us to access to begin with, maybe. Yes. And then we can come into the Qigong, which is slightly more internal exercise of the meridians. And I think it's a nice progression.
Yes, yeah. And how long, if I'm just doing this, I don't have a cold, I don't have virus of any sort, and what would you recommend doing this in the morning, in the evening, or a couple of times just to keep things moving during the day? Or
yeah, all of the above. I think I tend to do it before I treat people, because it gets my Qi flowing. So before I give a Shiatsu, a little bit of Do-In. Yeah. Very well suited to the morning though, because you can sort of get up and tune into how you're feeling and which bits feel less alive to you. So, okay, my lower back stiff, like you do before a yoga practice, my lower back stiff, I'm going to focus on that today. Or this bit doesn't feel alive to me, this bit feels tight, I'm going to really stimulate that to move that tension. And I'm going to just really breathe into that area that feels a bit more dead to me, less present. And so morning time's a great time to do it, because it's very, waking up, especially lung, large intestine, because you can breathe and bring in the new day. And
so this sort of stimulation, having the kind of flexibility within your rib cage and stimulating that, has a direct relationship on things that may be stuck more internal in your lungs. So if you do have a bit of a chesty cold, or if you do even have the virus, is there something that might be for some people supportive? This will obviously be supportive in some ways. We know that just from our own acupuncture and shiatsu practice. So how long would you recommend that if someone was struggling a bit, and would the tapping be harder or softer, or do you get your partner to do it?
I think softer if you're feeling ill. And if you don't want to make a noise with that, you can do it with fingertips and just like,
okay.
Because if you haven't got that energy to really breathe and be quite yang and dynamic, just you'll still get that percussive aspect, and you'll still get the out breath with it. And you can smooth. You don't have to do tapping if that feels too dynamic. You can just.
You could do it with your fingers, could you, and just keep stimulating the meridian. And if you use a bit more hand surface, it doesn't matter how accurate or inaccurate you are with the meridian pathway, because it's you're looking at an area, so you don't have to be too like, am I on the meridian?
Yeah, you don't want to get into your head with it, but if you're thinking lung meridian, clarity, metal, breathing in, breathing out, taking in, letting go, breathing in energy, letting go gunk from my lungs, whatever you're feeling at that moment, that's connected. As long as your intention is there, that's what will be effective.
And
you can be off the meridian, but thinking about the meridian, and that accesses it.
yeah, yeah. So in terms of your own, what kind of practice do you have? Do you have a daily practice?
Well, I actually, my main practice is yoga. So it's interesting you're saying about the breathing, because but I've had a slight cold. So when I was breathing yoga the last couple of days, I've noticed I've had my mouth open more than a Ujjayi breath.
Oh, yes.
So it's interesting. But yeah, so I walk the dog in the morning first thing, and I'll stop unless it's pouring with rain, and I'll do a little bit of lung stretching and a little bit of tapping up on the hill.
Yes.
And throw the stick for the dog while I'm doing my doing. And
Yes.
then I do a little bit before treatments.
Yes.
Because it grounds me, it calms me, it
yes.
allows me to feel the Qi in my own body, so I'm more able to access the Qi in other people's bodies.
Yes. Do you have something that you can offer if someone's feeling not grounded?
The first thing that comes to my mind is a very simple Qigong. Well, yeah, very simple Qigong. I was going to jump to, I've got loads of things.
Yeah, I know, we all have, haven't we? The thing is that sometimes for someone you say this is grounding and it's not for that person. Or, you know, I've heard of some people in these big backward stretches, and it's, for most people it's going to be invigorating, but some people it's the only place that they get to and relax. So
yeah.
we know that there's not one thing for everyone. So
yeah.
some Qigong thing that's good for grounding, not lifting the sky or carrying the moon.
Yeah, I know, a really good Qigong thing. And the other thing I really am working with essential oils at the moment. I found some really pure, sustainably sourced, beautiful essential oils. So I would pair a tree oil, a
Yes.
grounded, calming tree oil,
yes.
And I'd put it on kidney 1 on my feet. So I would hold.
But we haven't got that. I haven't got that in my larder today. So
no, but that's what I do. I'd put the oil on my thumb and put it on kidney 1.
Okay.
And the
sole of your feet.
Particularly really good when we're feeling isolated and
yes.
we're being isolated, we're not outside. I mean, you and I, lucky enough to live rurally, but to have that nature via the oil, by the plant medicine, and
yes.
connect to the point. Because if the point has got, if the oil and the point have the similar vibration, it's double whammy. It's very effective. So it really
yes.
brings you straight down. But the Qigong, I know you want the Qigong.
I do. Because I think this is, because I want someone to watch this and go, holy, that was really cool what Kate offered, and I feel I'm using that every time I feel ungrounded. I
don't know. I need to set it up better next time.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Oh, look at your lovely room. Okay, you froze.
So, Qigong. We want to feel the ground underneath our feet. So we want to root down. So feel your feet and just tip forward onto your toes a little bit, and then back onto your heels until you just find a real center point where you can sink into the ground. So we go onto our toes, come onto our heels, and we want to be in between that, sort of in the middle of our foot, and then just connect with the earth. Just drop down into the earth energy, that lovely New Zealand hill you're on. And then soft knees. So everything needs to be soft when we're doing our Qigong practice. So the Qi can move around the corners, it can go through the joints and flow freely. And so we want to be soft in our buttocks, as though we're sitting on a bar stool, just soft, rooted into the ground, and then lifting up. So we're lifting up to the heavens as well. So as human beings, we're balanced between heaven and earth. So we're lifting up from the top of our head. And a really simple, I mean, that in itself is grounding, just connecting with our feet. But my favorite grounding one is just to breathe in and bring our arms up, and breathe out and bring them down. So the arms are moving in concert with the breath. So breathing in and out, and everything's soft, as though we're sort of painting a wall, coming up the wall. And then if we're not feeling too wobbly, when we come up, we can come up onto our toes. And when we come down, back down onto our feet. So I'm doing the Qigong breath, where I'm breathing in and out through my mouth. But you can breathe, do yoga breathing if you want. Really soft shoulders, soft jaw. Nice and slow, coming up onto the toes, down onto the heel. So I could feel a lot more grounded now. It's feeling much calmer and stiller here. How about for you, Paul?
Yeah, it's good. I love it. I'll tell you what I do like, and everybody that I've interviewed so far and spoken to, there's these, it's just simple stuff that seems to be really poignant at the moment and supportive for us. None of this tying yourself in complicated geometric forms, thinking that if you can do that, you're a wonderful yogic, you know. It's just, I think we've all, I think most of us want simplicity now because things are so complicated out there in terms of just not knowing. Grounding's really nice because I'm lifting up my skeleton as well. I'm coming back to being firm with my feet on the floor. I'm rising up. There's some steadiness. So I'm looking at my movement, my breath, my mind being in sync here. And that's when you start to feel really connected. That's lovely.
Yeah. And it's really interesting, isn't it? That sort of, you know, where we're at the moment with this, we've actually got time, you know, because I was going to say, well, it only takes 5 minutes out of your busy day because people are so busy. There's so many demands on their time. They're hectic. They can't do a Qigong practice. And I'd give them something, this is 5 minutes, but it'll make a difference to the whole day. But it's really interesting. Now this is the time. We have the time, and it's imperative that I know self-care is bandied around a bit and it becomes less meaningful as a phrase, but this is the time we need to really root into that.
Well, it's an opportunity. I'm sure there's some people that this doesn't mean much to, or they haven't touched on this area. And there'll be some people that probably want to, there was this guy, I saw a clip of him on Facebook. He ran a marathon on his 7-meter
balcony in Italy or somewhere. Yeah.
So, you know, some people are going to want to do more vigorous work, and some people, because they need to get that sort of yang energy out there, they want their liver energy and to move. And then some people want to come a bit more focused. But my sense is, doesn't matter who you are, being able to come back into feeling a bit more focused, get into your parasympathetic, so you rest and restore, know what that rapid breath does, know when you're holding your breath, or because that will come with your anxious feelings, thought, or breathing rapid, and coming, everybody, I'm sure everybody at some stage during their day would benefit from something that they can do for themselves that gets them a bit more here, present, more grounded. Absolutely. It's not going to be easy. And the thing is, it's going to get harder. You know, we've only had a couple of days, and I don't know what's going on out there. I'm still curious to see how we're going to come out. I'm hoping that this is going to be a real opportunity for us to reboot ourselves and reset ourselves and rethink. Do we, you know, when I was a kid, my dad worked, and although my mum painted a lot, but at that stage it was your dad's income was the size of your mortgage, and then it became like 1.5 times his income, and then 2 times, and then my mother came in and it was 1 times her, and then it was 2 times the dad and 2 times the mum. So your mortgage got bigger and bigger, which meant that we were just working to pay our mortgage, and this whole other life that's going on around us. Maybe it's our time to reset ourselves and, hey, do we really need to be this mad busy? I don't know.
Yeah, I think we have to. I think we have to change. I think this is the planet warning us, and if we, you know, and it's not the first warning.
No.
And but they're ramping up, you know, and I think we have to change, otherwise we're looking at extinction. And hopefully, you know, the optimists in us is that we can go back to more regenerative farming methods, you know, less
It has to be. We know that, and we're just see if I'm hoping for there's going to be some really, really cool opportunities for us. That's my hope, and I'll keep it there. So this has been it's been lovely reconnecting with you.
It's really nice to see you.
I have just so fond memories, and I don't think we've seen each other for probably since I moved to New Zealand 20 years ago or something. Have we?
Did you come back for something once? Did you come back for?
I've come. I used to go back almost every year to the UK and come to Gaunt. So maybe it was 15 years ago we saw each other or something. I don't know.
I haven't been to Gaunt for a long time. Yeah. And I can't remember. I would have seen you at Karen and Richard's wedding.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
So, I saw you somewhere. I can't remember where it was, and I think you just moved. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Can we get together again and do a bit more sharing and see where this leads to?
I'd love to, and I've got loads more to share and loads more to say. So.
Yeah, cool. and I'm really thinking about joining in your doing class.
Cool! Great.
Yeah. Can I be the naughty boy at the back of the classroom on Zoom? I know you can mute me, can't you?
Yeah, I can. I will.
I still make signs and put you off. I really appreciate that, and at some stage by this video that is being recorded will be on my website, and I'll put links up so people can check into all the stuff that you've got to offer, and we'll see where this goes, eh? Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to sign off now, but you and I can carry on talking afterwards. So thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you.